welcome to my workshop. In today's video we're going to be checking out a new tool in my workshop. Well, you can pick it up in Lidl, in store, or actually online, and it's the well-known brand from Parkside. What is it exactly? Well, it's the satin finishing sanding brush machine. More or less, it looks like an angle grinder with a special attachment. And in this case, it will be able to take sanding brushes that are 120 by 100 millimeters. It's 1300 watts, and one of the key features of this machine is that you can actually change the RPMs from 900 to 3200, and that's actually quite important for some of the jobs you're going to be using this machine. In today's video we're going to be checking out what's actually inside of the box, what you're getting, how does it work, and what you can do with it, as there's quite a few interesting things you can use this tool for. And actually, if you're working with wood, well, you can achieve some really interesting finishes for your projects. So let's get started. Right then, so what's in the box? First of all, you got a manual, dust extraction port, handle, some bits and pieces. The machine actually comes with a brush. I believe this is for metal. However, you know, using different types of brushes on the same material will give you some interesting results, especially when you're going to be using these on wood. But we will be testing that out. And the machine itself, as I say, it does look like an angle grinder, and actually you can buy attachments like these to allow the use of brushes of this type. However, in my understanding, these attachments are not very good. They're quite expensive, so sometimes actually you're better off to buy the real tool, especially with the RPM adjustment option, okay, as that is quite important to achieve different types of effects or finishes. Alright then, let's put this machine together. First of all, the cover and the handle, I'm just gonna screw that through. Next we can attach the dust extraction port. You do have some screws for that, and you can just position that whichever way you want. And you do get that extra adapter as well to accommodate any sizes of hoses you may have for your shop vac. Now we can install the cover with the handle onto our machine itself, alright? And just over here you've got the piece that will be holding the whole cover on our machine, so we need to make sure it's loose enough to fit in. When the cover is fully on, you do have this limit foot over here, making sure in the right place, and when you are, just lock that screw down tightly. Now we can install the brush itself. For that, there's two screws we need to remove. They are holding this cover. And on the spindle just over here, you do have some grooves. And in the set, you do get these metal bars that fit in those grooves. You've got two of them. You need to put them inside. Hold them so they don't fall out, and now you can add your brush. As you can see, it does have a special shape to fit that. There we go. And now we can secure the whole thing with a bolt and a washer. Now as you tighten that up, the spindle will obviously spin. So on the other side of the machine, you've got a spindle lock that you need to press and hold as you're going to be tightening that bolt up. Now we can put back the cover. And we are in business. The machine is fully assembled and ready for some action. The power lead for this machine is actually quite long. I think it's about 3 meters, so should be enough for any situations. As I said, you do have the option to change the RPMs with a wheel that's located just at the top of the machine, and you can go right up to level 6. On top of that, you do have the lock button here, so you don't have to press and hold the on switch constantly. You can press that, and it will work automatically. Essentially, this tool is an angle grinder with a special head, special attachment for it. Now, one thing that you need to be aware of, that it does cause a lot of vibrations. You may get your hands tired quite quickly, as the machine itself is actually quite heavy, as the guard is made from metal. The brush, depending which type of brush you're going to be using, that will add a little bit of weight as well. And as I said, because it's so large, the brush itself, it may be a little bit hard to control. So a bit of a pro tip from me: before you jump onto your project, make sure to take a few minutes just to have a practice and a test go on your material. Alright then, time to do some testing and see what type of results we can get. Now, the brush, as I said, that I have with this machine is for metal. Okay, I've got a metal beam over here that is a little bit rusty, so we'll see how well that's going to work. You can get different type of brushes for this. However, at the minute I just have the one. It doesn't mean that you can't use it on wood, okay? Depending on what type of brush you're going to be using, you actually can get different types of results on the same pieces of wood. I do have few projects planned in the future using this tool, and I've actually got some brushes on order. Hopefully they will arrive in the next couple of weeks so I can use this. However, today I'm only going to show you the brush I have, and we'll see what type of results we can get. For now, let's clamp down this piece of metal and see how this tool will actually perform. Now, if you can, try to use this outside, as I'm guessing it will create a lot of fine dust during the operation at all times. Wear a mask as well to prevent any of those particles getting in your lungs. And check that out, what a fantastic result, and that's only after a few seconds of using this tool. Absolutely brilliant performance. If you've got some metal parts that are a little bit rusty and you need to clean them out, well, as you can see, that is a very efficient tool to use. I'm actually quite surprised at how well this has been done, and that's just a few seconds of using this. So if you've got a job like this, that could be the tool for you. But with this brush, let's test it out on some other pieces. I've got a piece of timber, that's pine I think, with some wood sealer on top in the color of black. I've got two pieces, I've got this beam as well, so we're going to go through both. However, as I mentioned before, that brush is not dedicated for that job, but I'm still curious what it will do, how it will behave, how it will perform. Later on, I've got a piece of pine like this, which is already planed, so we'll see what effects we can get. I've got a piece of pallet wood that's really rough. We'll see how smooth we can get that. And I do have a hardwood that's dark ash as well. So let's go through the testing and we'll see what results we can get. And that's the result that we've got. Only a few seconds. I wasn't putting too much effort in actually taking the material off. And as you can see, it actually made a decent job with a brush that's not dedicated for it. And if you are going for distressed look or weathered look of your timber, or maybe you want to age the look of your timber, that's going to be the tool for it. However, you would need different brushes for those applications. I'm going to have a full video on that in the future. Now let's try this beam. Okay, so on this piece of timber I've done two things. Over here in this section, hope you can see that, I've put a little bit more time, a bit more effort, counted in seconds to be honest, and as you can see the paint, it has been fully removed, nothing on it, bare wood. However, if you do leave the paint on in the deeper sections of the timber, you can get really interesting effects and interesting layers. Hard to show this on a video, but as you go with your fingers across it, you can definitely feel the structure of the wood. The softer parts of the timber been removed, and yeah, it's doing a really good job. And now a piece of pine. It's fairly smooth to the touch. As you go across the grain, you can't really feel that much. So let's see what this machine can do with it. Well, and I have to say the difference is quite big. Difficult to show this on the camera, but the softer, whiter parts of the timber have been removed. However, the darker lines have remained much higher. And as you put your hand across it, you can definitely feel that. And even, as I said, with a brush that's not dedicated for this, is doing a decent job of getting that grain out. Now a rough piece of pallet wood. And again, similar results. The surface is nice and smooth, and you can definitely feel the grain popping as the softer sapwood is removed. Absolutely fantastic, exactly what I was going for. And finally, a piece of hardwood. And again, very nice results. You can feel the grain popping on your fingers. Absolutely brilliant. And there you go guys, quick presentation of this tool, what it is, what it can do and how it operates. And I think it's absolutely perfect for some specific jobs. For example, if you've got decking, okay, and you want to remove the old finish, well, that's going to be your tool for it. It's going to be quick, efficient, and as you can see, it actually will cover a large piece of timber at one time. And I have to say, as I was operating, I wasn't putting that much pressure on it. Basically, the weight of the tool itself does the job. So from that perspective, it's actually not too bad to use. Plus, I'm actually quite surprised how well the dust extraction worked. I was expecting a massive cloud of sawdust behind me, but nothing like that happened with a dust extractor. Like if you've got one in your workshop, if you connect to this, it's actually not bad at all. Although I would still recommend using a dust mask, as there probably will be some tiny particle of dust flying around. But overall, actually, the dust extraction is pretty good. Now, the main reason I've bought this tool is to give my timber, my projects, a distressed look and an aging look, and having a satin finish on my projects. And it's going to be absolutely perfect. However, choosing the right brush, choosing the right speed for it is the key. Today, just a quick presentation, but in the near future, I'm going to have a full video on how to give your timber and your projects a distressed look and weathered look of your timber. I was actually looking for this particular tool for a while now, and they can get a little bit pricey, and the cheapest one was from Lidl. However, it's very unlikely you're going to find this particular tool in the store itself, okay? So I did order that online. However, they will not always be in the online store as well, as I was looking for this particular tool last year it wasn't there, it wasn't available. So they just appeared, at least in my country, in Poland, just recently. So if you can find them in your local Lidl or online as well in your country, I'm just going to drop some links down below to Amazon. Okay, so you can search for a similar tool on Amazon, where usually the tools are always available. However, for today, that's all. Just a quick presentation of this not so known tool.